Hey everyone, it is Eric with Rockin' HTV, session 130. Tonight we're working on our Roadrunner sprayer trailer, and we're on lesson 5. What we're going to do tonight, kind of boring, but it's still worthwhile. We're going to put some ramp attachment points on this thing, and then we're going to start the tedious part of cleaning it up so we can get it ready for paint. Right here, this is the hole I drilled in at the bottom end of that show. I drilled a hole here, actually over here where the solder is, and then it was the axles were too close and the tires rubbed. The tires were too close and it was terrible. Well, it turned out to be a bit of a blessing, because if you guys do this, make one of these, or if you're doing any kind of solder work and let's say you're drilling, you think you got the bit where it's supposed to be and it wanders off a little bit from dead center or wherever it is you're trying to put the hole. Okay, well with brass what's nice is you can come in here and solder your holes shut. You can solder your hole shut and then drill a new hole. Okay, another thing I'm going to show you here. Look at that ugliness right there. That is horrible. Oh my gosh, it's so scary. I don't know if you could ever tell in the prior videos, but these pieces of brass were not perfectly even right here. Okay, not the end of the world. So what I did is I took a bunch of solder. It was a bigger diameter solder. It's this stuff right here. So I took this solder, and you can see where's the end of this at? Here we go. Right there. You can see it is much thicker than the other solder that I prefer to use, for good reason. Okay, you can see the difference in thickness right there. Crazy, huh? So what I did was I took this bigger solder and I just piled it up here, just piled and piled and piled. And so what I can do now is go to my file and file that smooth, and then guess what? We have a nice, flat, beautiful edge, even though I used some brass that wasn't cut perfectly. Beautiful thing, man. That's a little shortcut. It's not a glamorous shortcut, but it is, again, a shortcut, all right? I went ahead and I leveled up my, trailer right here with this file, and then I got the back end on the brass. Okay, or excuse me, on the soldering plate. And the reason of that is I want this brass back here where my finger is level. Okay, if I were to see here, I put these on last week. Okay, see, so I can't put the bottom of this flat on the metal, but when I just have it on the edge, I do. Isn't that nice? Okay. Now, what I've done here is I've cut a couple of pieces of brass pipe. Nothing too fancy. You do not have to use brass pipe for this project. You could use square tubing left over from the rest of us. So if you have some leftover square tube, you can do exactly what I'm about to show you. All I'm going to do is solder that to the back end of this trailer. Okay, and it is wide enough to accommodate this ramp. Okay, this is my own design. This is an ugly one because I need to clean it up and paint it, but you get the point. So these are the ramps that are going to go on it. What we're going to do then is we're going to solder this pipe, or if you're using square tube, we're going to solder this to the back of the trailer. Then we're going to take a Dremel and just cut a little groove, a notch out of that for this ramp, and then slide a wire in between it to hold the ramp on. Now one time I tried to cut tiny little pieces like this and solder them on, and you may have heard someone in Dodge City, Kansas lose their religion. That was me. So after you've kind of shaved these out just a little bit, you can take your ramp and do a test fit, or you could cut the ramp narrower. That's up to you. You could do that too. Okay, now you'll notice that doesn't want to fold up nice. Guess how we fix that? I give you $5, you will never figure it out. You take your Dremel right in here and along this edge, let's just cut some of that out. We're going to shave that out. You can do it with a file. I'm going to do it with my Dremel because it's fast. All we're going to do is give this ramp just a little more real estate in which to pivot into the trailer. That little bit gave us just the amount of real estate we needed to have that ramp fold up closer. What we're going to do now is we're going to come in here, we're going to clean up some of our excess solder, some of the joints and stuff like that. We're just going to make them look pretty. This is ugly, not nice, not attractive, yuck. And we're going to clean up this nasty thing right here. We're going to do all that right now. Now, you do not need a Dremel for this point. For this part, you know, you got you a big file. Use the big file. The solder comes off really, really easy. All right, so guys, that is what we got cooking on this evening's episode. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment box. If you are building along, I'd love to see what you're doing, so please post those photos so we can all learn from you. Perhaps if you watching have something to share, we'd love to know it, or at least I would, because it seems like I learn as much from you guys as you might learn from me. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those things, and get these videos in the hands of those that can use them, or people that you can help with, be a blessing to. And we will see you next week.